The next stop is On the Radar Radio.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yes, sir, baby. On the Radar Radio. Yo, special guest in the building. My West Coast family in the building. Price in the building. My
Come
guy.
on now. How you doing,
feel?
brother? Blessed,
I
bro.
don't want to shake your hand too hard because you got the cast.
Yeah, man. A little sprain, but it's all right.
From performing?
Nah, man. Just reckless, stupid.
Reckless, stupid shit?
I still got a little bit of developing spiritually to do.
Like what? Like, what do you feel like you need to develop more about yourself?
It's funny. I was just talking about it in a little interview earlier, but it's like the last piece to my puzzle that I'm working on is just my anger emotions. You know, so like, I you know, I've had a history of in my life growing up, you know, of kind of like not dealing with my anger the best. I've been killing it lately, you know. Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Nah, facts, because I care. It's intentional. Like I want to change it, you know. Like for a long, like my grandpa killed his brother off of anger. My mom was like fucking crazy, like you know, like we just. It's a generational curse. Mind you, I brought y'all books. Where the book?
You brought us a book?
Yeah, or the I think they're over there. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Speaking of I don't know if this is gonna be fly to get handed off the camera, but shout out to my brother Andres. But yeah, I brought you copies of my book, Generational
Thank you,
Cures,
bro.
bro.
Generational Curses.
Generational Cures. So we whacked
Cures,
out
my
the
bad.
S. Yeah, you're right though. On the cover it spells curses, but we whacked out one of the S's.
Word.
So Generational Cures. But yeah, so anger was one of our curses that we break in.
So when did you publish this book?
Last year.
Last year, okay.
Yeah, I wrote my first book last year. So it's a book series, you know, so I'm doing on my family. I'm the first one, Lil Larry. You know, I got an auntie that died in the Jim Jones massacre. I got cousins and uncles and family and shit that done done all type of shit, good and bad, you know, and so I kind of want to immortalize them, tell their story, create some streams of income for them, because every one of them that I write a book on them, they're going to own 50% of the book and
That's
the rights
fire,
and all
bro.
that shit. Yeah, for sure. And then eventually, man, I need Tyler Perry to come fuck with me and turn all these shits into movies, man. That's the plan, and I'm speaking that. So the Generational Cure series will eventually be in film, man, but that's the goal.
So the first book is about you.
Yep.
So what does it entail? It's like your journey,
Yeah.
like everything that you've dealt with?
From age 0 to 18, so it's crazy because it's my first book. So I didn't body it like I wish I would. When it was all done, I went to read it because I love books, so I wish I kind of brought a message home a little better at the end or something. It's more like autobiography energy, you know, kind of just telling you about my life, what I've been going through, when it went through from age being born to 18 when I first got signed to Interscope. So, but it's hella lessons in it. You know, one of my best friends, 15 years old, you know what I mean? I used to go to his crib. His mama searching. I used to have to sneak his 40 out the house because his mama would be searching him, patting him down every day and we'll leave. He now has a life. You feel me? The police came and snatched him up out the school. He caught a double murder. You feel me? One of the first people I seen kill somebody in front of my face. You know what I'm saying? Seeing a nigga die. You know, so it's all these different experiences and journey in the book that I feel like people could learn from. But moving forward with the next books, it's gonna be like The Alchemist and just more like bringing it together, bringing the story and like a message to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that, man. I love how you're telling your story, but like, you know, you're also working on yourself in the process.
Oh, for sure.
Was writing this book like therapy for you too?
Yeah.
You feel like you healed while writing this?
A piece of me healed.
Right, you
know?
can't entirely heal off
Exactly.
just one experience, but yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. You know, so a piece of me healed for sure. I don't think we'll ever truly, fully, officially 100% be healed, because every time you heal, it's a nut. Like, my back's hurting for some weird reason, because however I was just sitting wherever I was just at. So it's like, as soon as you feel like good about this and that, here comes something else. So
right, and then that's where we always be like, it's always something.
it's always something,
Yeah.
right? But it definitely helped my healing process because I'm in the mirror heavy. So writing this book just kind of was another version of me forcing myself in the mirror. And yeah, man, I'm writing another book. It'll be out this summer called Scriptures. It's 365 pages. It's a devotional. So it's going to be like every day. You can, from January 1st to December 31st, you can go every page and read a devotional. You know what I mean? And then I'm going to do the next book, Generational Cures City. So ideally, I'm dropping both them books this year, but.
And you also, so the non-for-profit that you were telling me about, that you're leaving New York to go back home and do some stuff with after this. Is that also kind of in the same lane as doing healing work, or like what is the
Yeah.
what does that entail?
100%. So the nonprofit is called the nonprofit is called City Cares. City Cares Outreach. We feed the homeless every Thursday. We go out,
Fire.
breakfast burritos, orange juice, coffee, clothes, hygiene, etc. every Thursday. For the last 6 months or so. I started it like 6 months ago, and it's gonna be here to the end of time. But so yeah, it's a lot of that type of work. But obviously we out there touching the people, having to be blessings. And it's fire, bro. I love it. When I was younger, we used to do shit like my mom. We used to make sandwiches and put them in bags and go hand them out. So that shit always like set with me, man. And sometimes, bro, we be like, I got cousins, I got homies from my set. I got people. I just seen one of the homies from my hood when I was out there feeding people. One of my homies was out there. Granted, he ain't homeless. He was just out there at the park for some other shit, but he going through it. So I had, gave him some bread and shit, et cetera, et cetera. So it just keep me humble, keep me grounded, keep me level, and keep me doing the work when it comes to my people. Like, it's deeper than just doing my own internal work, but then I want to do work actually to create this change that I know needs to be and that I want to see. You know what I mean? So
right, especially when you kind of like, when you talk about your friend who got locked up when you were 15 for the double murder, or even like you're seeing your man's in the park, what I'm saying, who's going through it. Like when these experiences happen to you, obviously two very different experiences, but like, do you what kind of goes through your head nowadays when you think about these situations that you're dealing with? Because like what I've noticed, especially like if you look at your career, obviously you've always done the music, but then like now it's like you're doing the self-healing, right? You're doing work to heal the community too, right? Are these all things that play out in your mind a lot nowadays?
Yeah, man. I mean, because to be real, they always have, but I guess kind of like when you're younger and just you on some young nigga shit, so it's kind of like, because I've always been doing it. I've always had businesses and, restaurants. I had a restaurant for about 8 years, food truck for 3, different things like that. So it always be in my mind. But now at this space that I'm in where I'm, kind of back independent, I really truly know what it means to make money and what business really entails and shit like that. And then I know what loss really feels like, whether that's people, money, opportunities, and so for me, what fuels me is this, which is just like helping myself and helping people. You know what I mean? Because the other shit, bro, I'm going to be fly regardless. I dress good because I love to dress. I'm going to smoke good. I'm going to love on my girl. I'm going to kick it with my lugs. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to do the shit that I do regardless, but what else are y'all doing? It's a lot of people, artists, et cetera, who you see. It's funny, bro, because everybody nowadays are doing these interviews like this. Right? Sometimes they don't even be talking to nobody. Niggas be just setting up this type of little setups so they can have the words at the bottom on Instagram and like look like they saying all this like philanthropist level shit, but like, what are y'all doing?
Right.
Other than like posting videos on Instagram that like sound incredible, like as far as giving advice, y'all niggas all want to give everybody advice, but what are people actually doing? Like, who got feet on the ground? Like, who actually is, creating some change out here, and I just strive to be one of those people.
I like that. Someone said earlier, they're like, we have to lock podcast mics up. They said throw podcast mics in jail. I just want to make a point that I've been doing this shit since I was 18. I've been on the radio since I was 18. I ain't one of y'all new podcast motherfuckers who just pop up and think that y'all can start a podcast tomorrow, okay?
And for me,
respectfully.
Right. Respectfully. I love New York.
Respectfully.
And for me, man, we was just talking about that, how it's rappers who just wake up and they blow up, actually. I'm sure you interviewed a few artists who have hits and they be like, yo, I started rapping last year. Started rapping 6 months ago.
I think La Tyler's a good example of that right now. La Tyler, and he, first of all, he's a dope artist from Florida. Incredible.
I love him.
His flow is insane.
Amazing.
And it's funny because me and him when he was here 2 days ago, he was talking about how people started doing because you know how he raps, he kind of extends the end of his words.
Exactly.
Now mad people starting to do that, but it's funny because he's one of those artists who's only been rapping for 6-7 months, like officially.
Literally. And so for me, when we see shit like that, for me, like, it's dope, because everybody got their own journey. Everybody got their journey as is, you feel me? So, but what separates you is those 10,000 hours, those 20,000 hours, however many.
Very important, yeah.
So you might be talented, which like, cause Lil Tyler's talented. I love that little dude.
He's
But
mad funny.
you ain't me, respectfully, because
Right.
you ain't put in the hours I put in. You ain't, and so like people with the podcast, and I ain't him. So like, you ain't no shade to Lil Bro, cause he's amazing. I love that dude. But so like you with the podcasting, it's like you'll have all type of motherfuckers that could jump out doing podcasts, but it's like what's separating you and the energy you bring and the questions you ask and how you ask them, the whole nine, is just that time, that work that get put in.
Right, right.
But yeah, I'm with the whole locking up podcast mics, man. Niggas
Lock them up.
Yeah, niggas
Like
is
Amazon got to do like you can only sell like 10 of them a week.
crazy. Yes, and you gotta have a fucking YouTube channel or something. Like you gotta be real. But I'm not mad, man, because I you know, it's a game where everybody's kind of just be chasing. It's a tail chasing game.
Yeah.
It's a tail chasing game, and when you see something work for somebody or an artist or whatever, you kind of want to do the same. But I'm big on actions. I'm big on actions. I'm big on really being out there, you know.
Right.
So
We got the new project though.
yep,
No Sleep in the City.
No Sleep in the City.
What's dope about this project is that you actually produced 11 out of the 12 tracks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, facts.
Have you, when it comes to like your music, have you always kind of been this what's the word? Sufficient, I guess is the word. Like not really having to rely on other people.
I've always had the ability, but I'm so collaborative. I'm so cool. I fuck with my people. So I've always had a collaborative energy, and then I was in the group forever. You know, I was in the group Audio Push for forever, and so you know, being in that, you know, you gotta. Everything is like half and half split decisions. So it may be some shit I might want to fully produce, and bro might want to fuck with some producers or something, or whatever the case. Even though most of that shit I was making a lot of decisions, but so I have always had the ability, but I made an intentional decision, you know, moving forward from Motown, et cetera, to kind of just take control of all those things, bro. I literally do everything from write the records, record them, produce them, engineer them, mix them, master them. Like I could do everything, which don't mean you always have to do everything.
At all.
You know, it's dope to collab and fuck with my people. So shout out to Audio King, Eric Choice, Do Better. You know, my boy Caston, and just some of my homies that be fucking with me on the production. But Geronimo's produced on there, Preach produced on there as well. Yeah, No Sleep in the City was hella intentional though, bro. It's intentionally West Coast out. It's intentionally like all West.
You don't say.
Yeah, right. Because like this is my third or fourth solo project. I got records with Wyclef and Boss. I got records with Coda the Friend. I got records with you know, Tone Stiff and T-Pain, whoever the fuck, Joey Badass. Like we, you know, so I feel like I haven't really did something that was like catered to the region. Like, yo, I'm finna do some West shit and do it different though. I wanted to kind of also show my West Coast artists and peers, et cetera, like, nah, me and Kaz gonna get on this West shit and rap though. We gonna get on some rap shit and still keep it West, but still keep it hip hop. It ain't gotta be all like ratchet, you know? So
Like I love because I have him coming up here in like 2 weeks, the Jay Worthy record.
fire.
Because I feel like Jay Worthy, I don't think he's underrated, but he's just such an anomaly that he's tight. I like it.
Nah, P Worthy, man. Shout out to the Big P, man. He gotta just do more interviews, do more moving around. People gotta he's like right where Larry June was, right before Larry June took over the world. To me, you know.
That's a good analogy too, by the way. I actually like that. That's a good one.
He's right there.
So you gotta do some interviews and shit like that.
He gotta do some interviews. Gotta just pop out a little bit more, move around. He's a real Pyru. Like, he's a real member, like full-fledged. Like, so he's still a street nigga. He's still a hood nigga, I think. So once he continues to just really transition into like, nigga, I'm a star, like G Perico's doing now.
Which I was about to say that G Perico record is hard, and I started noticing that with him because I remember him when he was being pulled up by like ASAP Mob like 4 or 5 years ago, and he was just like, you know, there's this upcoming artist from the West Coast that people was fucking with. Kind of went, not that he went away from my consciousness, but you know, now it's like I see him in my face, which means that they branded him differently.
Yeah, hey, it's him. It's him. Because that's what it be taking, you know, like it be taking sometimes like us getting a realization. He called me last week. We had an incredible convo, you know, he gets it. And so it's really just that, like, G Worthy is almost like he right there. You know, I call him G Worthy, P Worthy, J Worthy, but it's J Worthy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But even myself, you know, a lot of us, it just be, sometimes we be in our own way.
Right.
You know, and we don't realize it, you know, and so I'm definitely getting the fuck out of my own way now, which is why I had to come here and body this shit, which is why I had to make my rounds and make the project I made where it does sound West Coast. You know, I've been kind of like not running from that type of shit for a while, but we did so much of it for so long. And I love hip hop. I just sold out SOBs. Like, I love rap, you know? So for me, I don't be wanting to rap on like ratchet sounding ass, like, you know, West Coast beats. That's the standard cheap sounding ass beats all the time. But I had to check myself. Cause like my people, my niggas from my hood, my set, they want to hear that shit. They want to hear the shit that I want to hear. I listen to the R3 and Draco and, you know, all the young
Fire,
niggas. Yeah, all the young niggas from my city and shit. Like, I listen to all that music. I literally, that's all I ride around to, but then I don't be making it. You feel me? Because we be in our own way sometimes, you know, and I had to really just get true to what my message was, my brand is. I'm like, on paper, I'm from a hood, you know. On paper, I'm like, I got enemies, but on paper, I'm also like a spiritual leader. I'm a leader in my community. I'm a philanthropist, you know. I'm a business owner. I'm dad of the year every year for the last 11 years. You know what I mean?
Right. You're a writer. You're this. You're that. You know what I'm
an
saying?
author, you know. So I'm just saying that to say, bro, like, so many different layers that I had to just own them. So, like, pull up with your book, bro. Don't be scared to, ain't nothing wrong with you pulling up with your books. Ain't nothing wrong with you expressing these things I've been doing. Like, when Nipsey was going hard, rest in peace to Big Bro.
Rest in peace, Nip.
When he was going marathon crazy with the store, I had my restaurant going crazy. I was literally buying up my block in the IE as bro was buying up the block in LA. I just wasn't being loud enough. I ain't have the right marketing and resources.
Or the press or whatever, yeah.
You feel me? But, so I had to just step more into that. And that's where we at now.
I love that for you, man.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, sagging and bragging.
Sagging and bragging and doing it all at the same time.
Where'd that come from?
Man, that's just some West
Did you
Side
start that?
shit.
That's some West Side shit?
Yeah, it's just really like, so from my section, man, like, we got so much lingo in my hood, you feel me? I'm from the IE, but my particular section is Rialto, 2nd Street. And like, my homies like, bro, it's gonna sound like cap, but we've been saying cap forever. Like, we used to be saying like, your cap weak. Like, nigga, your cap weak. That shit. So we got so much little lingo and shit, and we always be saying sagging and bragging. But I was like, man, it's time for me to like really take ownership of like all this lingo, all this shit I be saying, all this shit that me and my homies be like sparking up, and then a rapper bigger than me might hear it, put it in the song, and now,
like
now it's
it.
they shit. You feel me? And sagging and bragging, that's our shit, because that's what we doing. Sagging, that's West Side shit. That's when you just moving. You sagging, and bragging is just naturally. I'm naturally bragging. I don't got to say a word to be sagging and bragging. You sagging and bragging everything you do. On the radar, every time you got a new motherfucker come up here freestyling, going crazy, you sagging and bragging.
Sagging and bragging. I like that.
Feel me?
I ain't gonna steal that from you, though.
Nah,
Don't
it's
worry.
yours. It's yours to take. You feel me? It's yours to have. It ain't no steal, because I'm already stamping it.
Word, man.
Yeah, okay.
Well, look, man, it's been great having you here.
Facts.
Go get the new album out now, Generational Cures.
Yes, sir.
The first edition of Manny Lil Larry out now, so go get that.
Yeah, man.
Freestyle out now, so go check that out. Before we get out of here, though, anything else you want to let the people know where they can follow you at, all that good stuff? Now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
This camera right here.
Follow me at The Price. Spell regular on Instagram at THE Price. Follow coloredent.com, really. But just follow the IG, man. I'm sure you can find me. I'm literally everywhere on all socials. If you care to find me that much, you'll find me. If I want to say anything, it's shout out to my team. Shout out to my son. I got an 11-year-old son, and my son is like the nigga. He's the shit. And he loves On the Radar. Literally.
Oh, for real?
My son is like, yeah, like my son is tapped the fuck in, though. So he make beats. He's a producer. He incredibly get writing credits and production credit on all my shit. But he loves On the Radar. So my son, he literally was like, he said your little intro, how you be doing, like, I'm stepping in, felt to step in. He knew the whole shit. My son knew the whole shit.
Wait, can you FaceTime your son? Will he pick up?
What? Willie? Let me see. Let's see if
let's see if he picks up.
I'm gonna FaceTime his.
Rob, you got this, right?
Let me see. I'm gonna call him first and see if he's around his mom, because he has his own phone. I don't let him have an iPhone no more.
How old's your son?
11.
11.
Yeah, his name Brody O. I shouted him out before the freestyle, man. This dude is awesome.
It's not even ringing, damn.
Right, what type of little, he go, okay, I'm gonna just call his mom. See, that's
Call
me
his
trying
mom.
to call, that's me trying to call this.
Let's see if his mom picks up.
Right. But yeah, man, so my son is a big freaking fan of the show. My son is a huge, like, I've written for Travis Scott.
Right, yeah.
My son loves these people, so it's like, I be winning when I do shit that my son loves.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm already
Yeah,
dead.
I gotta send a little message to your son then.
Yeah, facts. They're gonna end up calling. I'm gonna be here before. I'm gonna make sure they answer before.
What's your son's name?
Michael. We call him Brody O.
Brody O, Michael. What's up, brother? Thank you for watching On the Radar, man. I
Listen.
appreciate you. Shout out my West Coast family.
Facts, man.
what I'm
But listen,
saying?
if I'm gonna say anything, bro, it's that. Literally, I was going to say that. Like, bro, keep doing what the fuck you're doing, bro, because it's such an outlet for real spitters, real MCs. On top of the fact, though, it's fly, it's fresh. Like, you know what I mean? You do a great job at the type of artist that you choose to be up here. You know, I'm just a big fan, man, and
Thank
I'm
you,
a
bro.
big fan of what you're doing. So if I could say anything, is thank you for having me up here, helping me push the brand forward. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Forefront Group. Shout out to Color ENT. And man, I'm just blessed, man. Happy to be here.
Thank you, man.
Ready to
Well,
smoke my spliff.
well, look, man, it's been a pleasure having you here. Make sure you go get the book out now. Go get the new project out now. Shout out, Lil O.
Brody O.
Brody O.
Brody Oski. Shout out to Brody O.
Shout out to Brody O. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go follow him. Go show him some love. Go show him some support. Run up that freestyle. Price On the Radar. West Coast in the building. We out.
Yes,
Bob, my
sir.
guy. Love.